The Smart Modified Tour is just down the road from the Zoo City of Asheboro, North Carolina. Tonight, race number 8 of the season. We're just past the midway part in this season for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. We are in Sophia, North Carolina for the revolutionary 99 here at Caraway Speedway. Drone coverage tonight being provided by Carolina Drilling and CitraSafe Grow Cleaners. And I tell you what, 4th of July weekend, you got to get yourself some CitraSafe Grow Cleaners. There is the starting lineup tonight. 27 strong for the Mighty Modifieds here today at this .455 mile oval with some pretty decent bankings in the corners as well. And we have stars from all over the country ready to go after this victory tonight. Hello, everybody. I am Bob Dillner. We're moments away from driver intros for race number 8 of the season. Alongside of me is Will Battershell. It's been hot. It's been humid. It's been scorching today here in central North Carolina. But I think we're going to see that heat go to the racetrack right now because the action is going to be red hot during the Revolutionary 99.
It's such a perfect night to have this race because I feel like every single year we see some kind of fireworks on the track. Whether if you look back last year, Danny Bone just coming and dominating the race or bumper-to-bumper action. This race just provides so much action for everybody that's viewing, and I am excited because it's cooled down a little bit. So this track is going to grip up now, and it's going to be something that these drivers really haven't seen. And then also that last race, we saw a lot of speedy dry get put into turn 3, so that could also come into effect.
A lot of factors here tonight in this 99-lap race for the Smart Modified Tour. Now let's meet your starting lineup for the Revolutionary 99 tonight. We're going to start from the back and go to the front. Starting 27th in tonight's field. This driver is from New England, a 158-time NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour starter for Melissa Fifield. Starting 26th, he has spent time with the Smart Modified Tour and the NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour. This driver of the number 8 will start 26th tonight. It's John Michael Chenette. Starting 25th in the red, white, and black number 77. He leads the Racing Electronics Rookie of the Year race of the Smart Modified Tour. It's Will Lambros from Northport, New York. Starting 24th in the red, black, and white number 14. A 2-time late model stock car champion at Hickory Motor Speedway. It's Austin McDaniel. Starting 23rd, a former top 10 finisher in tour-type modified racing at Caraway Speedway. In the Yates Grading and Paving number 18, it's Daniel Yates starting 23rd. Starting 22nd, another former winner here at Caraway Speedway and tour-type modified racing. He is in the Pace-O-Matic 16 VA for S&S Racing. It's NASCAR Hall of Famer Bobby Labonte. Starting 21st out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, in the number 4 machine, making his return for the first time in over a year to the Smart Modified Tour. It's the working man in the number 4, Jason Myers. Starting 20th, making his second start of the season. This is a second-generation race car driver in the number 5 car. It's Tommy Buzzy Jr. Starting 19th. 4th in the series point standings coming into the Revolutionary 99 in the Stoke Shoes 7NY, Jack Baldwin. Starting 18th, a top 5 run for this driver 2 races ago at Wake County Speedway. He's in the number 45 machine. It's Mad Max Hanley. Starting 17th, what an opportunity for this driver with Hillbilly Motorsports. In the number 79 tonight, it's Ethan Truel. Starting 16th, in the number 39, that's the factory 39 machine tonight. This driver from Waverly, New York, it's Bryce Bailey. Starting 15th, a 2-time winner of the Smart Modified Tour in the 02 Gray Ghost machine. It's Joey Coulter. Starting 14th, he has a streak of 2 straight top 5 finishes in the Bass Pro Shops HendrickCars.com. Number 40, Carter McMurray. A good qualifying effort for this next driver. Starting 13th in the number 21 Carolina Drilling Barrier Farms machine for the night, Jay Wallace. 20 car finished third in points 1 year ago with the Smart Modified Tour. Won an RC race on Thursday night in Lancaster, New York. And now he's here to drive in the Revolutionary 99. It is the driver of the Jerry Gradle Motorsports car for Paulie Hartwig III. Starting 11th in the 7VA for S&S Racing, he's the two-time and defending Smart Modified Tour champion, Luke Baldwin. And here are your top 10 starters tonight at Caraway Speedway. Starting 10th in the number 31, this driver hails from New Jersey. He's a former winner at Wall Stadium in Belmore, New Jersey. Put your hands together for Kyle Sisko. Starting 9th, this driver just outside the top 10 in points. Tonight, he's in the Jamie Tomato number 99 machine, and he will start 9th. It's Sean McIlerney. Starting 8th in the number 11 machine, a two-time champion of the NASCAR Sportsman Series at Bowman Gray Stadium, Chase Robertson. Starting 7th in the Bass Pro Shops number 2. Second place in points coming into this event for the Rocket Man, Ryan Newman. Starting 6th in the number 25 machine. He is our current point leader with the Smart Modified Tour. In the Mark III financial machine for Mike Smith, it's Danny Bone. Starting 5th, a three-time champion of the Smart Modified Tour in the CitraSafe Grill Cleaners number 1 from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, the ace, Burt Myers. Starting 4th tonight in the number 1 machine. He calls himself now the Dark Knight. He's the most recent winner on the Smart Modified Tour. Top 5 in the point standings right now for Jake Crum. Starting 3rd in the 04 Polaris Off-Road Machine, a former winner at Caraway Speedway with the Smart Modified Tour, it's Brandon Ward. And here are your front row starters. Starting 2nd in the AmeriFast of North Carolina, number 24, from Manorville, Long Island, New York, Joey Braun. And leading the field to the green flag here today, a two-time winner in Tour-Type Modified Racing at Caraway Speedway. In the Shady Grady Racing number 15, it's the kid, Carson Lofton. And that is your 27-car starting lineup for the Revolutionary 99 tonight here at Caraway Speedway. We go downstairs for more from Matthew Dillner.
Guard. Give it up, Oaks. Let's go. Folks, God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engines!
If you've never heard passion, well, now you have. Matthew Dillner with the command of fire engines today for the Revolutionary 99 at Caraway Speedway. You hear those 600 horsepower machines come to life. Carson Lofton on the point for this one in the Steve Tire and Automotive 15 machine. He won the open modified race in March here at Caraway Speedway, but there are so many storylines in this race, and we're looking forward to covering it all for you. The 20 car that just rolled by the shot on the front stretch from our roving cameraman, Mitch. Great shot, Mitch, down there as these cars come to life. Paulie Hartwig, the third in the number 20 car, did not have this race on the calendar for him to run. He went to Massachusetts on Wednesday night with the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, finished 10th in that race, then drove all the way near Buffalo, New York, yes, Bill's territory. And this kid in this race car won the Race of Champions Modified Series event there at Lancaster Motorplex. What a great run. And then afterwards, I was texting with him. He said, Bob, we're coming south back to the Smart Modified Tour, making his first start of the year for the kid that ran third in points 1 year ago.
The Hartwigs are just a true racing family, and we just see that 3 races in 1 week, and I can't imagine the amount of miles they're traveling just to get this done, but that's just the heart that they have. And Paulie's just here to try to put a whooping on the field, is the easiest way to say it.
There you see the teams who have been resting for a while, getting some heat in their engines, some heat in their tires as well. So many storylines going through this one, and one, definitely that 79 machine for Hillbilly Motorsports, Ethan Truel, not making his first start with the series, but his first start in a potent ride. This has been a legendary ride in Southern Modified Racing, and Ethan Truel, who is top 10 in points at Bowman Gray Stadium with the NASCAR Modified Series, he's here tonight in this Hillbilly ride. It'll be interesting to see what he can do from his 17th starting spot.
The good thing for Truel, too, is he has experience against a lot of these guys, racing them at Bowman Gray. So he is somewhat of a similar feel with the rest of the pack. So I think he should be able to do great.
Let's take a look at the starting grid for this race. On the point, Carson Lofton, Joey Braun in second. But who out of this top 10 has caught your eye?
I think if you're just looking at the whole top 10, you have Chase Robertson and Kyle Sisko are like the two that really catch my eye as very dangerous competitors that could really put their name out there. You saw Sisko, 4th in practice, just missed it a little bit in qualifying, but I think that if you're going to watch anybody, it's going to be Sisko.
Yeah, Paulie Hartwig starting 12th on that outside row behind Robertson and Sisko a little bit further back. Jimmy Wallace, good run. Carter McMurray trying to keep that top 5 streak alive. Joey Coulter had some ignition problems earlier in the day, but recovered for qualifying. And how about a big welcome back to the working man, Jason Myers in the number 4 machine.
Row 11 is so cool to look at. You don't always have Jason Myers, but you also have Bobby Labonte right next to him. So just seeing those two in 21st and 22nd, it's going to be really fun to watch them come from the back.
And then William Lambros there in the 77, top rookie in the series this year, starting way back in this one on the inside of row 13. Coming to the green this time by. On this Freedom 250 weekend in America, it's only by the grace of God and 600 horsepower that we are racing at Caraway Speedway with the Smart Modified Tour in the revolutionary 99. Lofton leading the first lap. Joey Braun in second. Brandon Ward in the third spot in the 04 machine. See Jake Crum and Danny Bone. Bone, the most electrifying driver of the year in that blue and white number 25. 3 wins and the Tour point lead coming into this race.
Danny Bone has been stout. Not only has he been winning here, he's also been winning over at Bowman Gray too. So been keeping up that consistency and keeping his feet wet, so there's not really any rust. So it's going to be something to really watch out for. As you see Chase Robertson trying to go to the outside of Ryan Newman here through 1 and 2.
Chase Robertson, Paulie Hartwig in the 20, all in the fray. Robertson, such a talented driver, locks up the brakes a little bit there. Had a top 5 run when he debuted in Tour Type Modified Racing back in March at Caraway in an open modified show.
Here with the leaders, you see Carson Lofton leading, Joey Braun right behind him, and Brandon Ward trying to hunt him down. But this, if Braun can keep up this top 3 area the whole race, this will be massive for that AmeriFast supply team.
Yeah, this is a big one for Joey Braun. Braun trying to rebound after some tough outings for sure. He started the season so well, but honestly struggled just a little bit over the last couple of races. 21st, 14th, and then he finished 9th at Franklin County, but he's trying to rebound and go after his first Smart Modified Tour win.
I like what he's doing, too, when you watch him through the turns, kind of backing it up a little bit and then getting that run to get the Lofton's rear end. Just can't quite make the move like he needs to, but kind of testing that water early on to see where you can make the move for later in the race.
Carson Lofton has been spending a lot of time with the Z-Max Cars Tour. 2 different rides for him in the Nelson Motorsports, and now moving over to the Darn Motorsports team in that full-bodied race car. But now he's back to what his family has known. 3rd-generation race car driver behind the wheel of that L&R Transmissions, number 15. And Carson Lofton leads this one early in the Revolutionary 99. Yellow flag is out. Caught a glimpse of the lights going on around this racetrack. And as we peer around this nearly half-mile facility, we can't see any potential problem, but we're going to clarify that with the officials here in just a second.
It was a very clean opening run for a majority of the drivers. Just kind of single file, testing the waters a little bit with each other, not really pushing it hard. 99 laps is a really long time here at Caraway, so you have to kind of take care of your car, take care of the tires, and that's kind of what they were doing that opening run.
Just told that Jason Myers actually went around on the racetrack. It was blocked from our vantage point, but the reason for the caution is for the working man, Jason Myers, making his return to the Smart Modified Tour for the first time in a couple of years. He's been crew chiefing for Slate Myers, Bert's kid, and Jason Myers just a tough guy that knows this racetrack very well. He has a win back here with the NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour in 2013.
It's just so cool to see the whole Myers family here. We saw Gary get his award earlier, and then you have both Bert and Jason racing against each other here in the Smart Tour. And then in the late models, you had Slate Myers racing. So the whole entire family is here this weekend and really just soaking it up on a 4th of July. Great view from our Carolina Drilling Citrus Safe drone.
And let's go to the Racing Electronics Race Communication and dial in the 25 of point leader Danny Bone. Danny, right now in the top 5, early on, how is this track in your car feeling?
I think we're pretty good. Obviously, the track cooled down quite a bit, so kind of was unsure how it would be, but we just put back what we normally run here, and it seems to be all right. Just kind of saved my tires here, and hopefully we can have a shot again at the end of this one.
Danny, you're running a new scheme, red, white, and blue. Obviously, this is Freedom 250 weekend. What does being able to do what you do in your life behind the wheel of a race car in this country mean on this weekend?
It's just awesome, honestly. Like, we are very blessed to live the lives we do, and get out, go out here and put a show on for the fans and celebrate America's 250th birthday. It's pretty awesome. So hopefully we can put a good show on for everybody in the red, white, and blue Mark III employee benefits number 25.
Good luck, Danny.
Thank you.
Danny Bone, and he mentioned that's a new sort of sponsor for that team, and that is Mark III Employee Benefits. Mark III Employee Benefits were actually on Kyle Busch's car last year in the Cup Series, and they have a lot of different entities of that company, and this is certainly one of them. So Danny Bone, Mike Smith, they go by the Citrus Safe Choose Cone right there, and they have an opportunity here to do what they've never done before, and that's win a championship, and they're in that point lead. They've been the dominator so far in this race, and got to give a shout out to the folks from Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners as well. Get their product at Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, and more. They make so many different products. They just took a tour through their facility this past week, and it goes outside the grill cleaners as well. They make laundry detergent, they make hand cleaner, all sorts of things and a lot of products for hunters as well. So we'll be talking about that throughout the season. But Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners, 4th of July, it's a perfect weekend to go to the store and get some Citrus Safe Grill Cleaner before you go cooking on that grill, either tonight or tomorrow.
You mentioned Danny Bone, and I want to go back to that for a second, just because he returned to the Smart Tour this race last year because he had an engine that was being built beforehand and came out here and dominated it. And then ever since then has by far been the best driver in the Smart Tour. 5 wins and has just been kind of untouchable. So this championship hopes that they have, I would say, look pretty strong as of right now.
And this race right here last year was the rebirth of Danny Bone and the rebirth for Andretti and this Team 25 bunch. They dominated that race and then just have been so darn consistent. Carson Lofton, though, Joey Braun leading the field back to the green flag in the Pace-O-Matic restart zone for the Smart Modified Tour. Joey Braun, such a talented driver in that 24 machine, won the Islip 300 last November at Riverhead Raceway in Long Island, New York, but still looking for victory number 1 with the Smart Series. Little slip up there. Jake Crum all over the 24's back bumper.
A lot of these drivers didn't know how that top outside lane was going to move through 3 and 4 just because not many cars have ran up there. And so we might see them slipping and sliding a little more early on until that rubber builds up in that second groove.
Brandon Ward, 3rd in this race in the Polaris Off-Road 04, 3rd in the point standings. The point leader just behind him, Danny Bone, going to be able to get by Jake Crum. Danny Bone taking advantage of an opportunity, as is Ryan Newman in the Bass Pro Shops number 2. He's on the inside of the 1 of Jake Crum.
It almost looked like Crum out of 2 tried to hit the brakes to fall into a gap, but Newman just closed it too quick. He gets the run off of 2 there. This time, though, is going to clear Newman.
A little bump a couple of times from Jake Crum to Danny Bone. Jake Crum's got a very fast race car, but the outside groove is the difficult way around this semi-banked, almost half-mile facility of Caraway Speedway. Burt Myers is back there as well. We got an incident in turn number 1, and it looks like our 4th place point person, Jack Baldwin, is in trouble. I see sparks coming from the back of that machine as he heads down the backstretch on the inside. That Stokes Shoes machine, trouble for Jack Baldwin. You can see it looked like it was over my monitor, so I wasn't able to see it, but I saw cars kind of go every which way but loose, and you see the damage to the front end of the Stokes Shoes 7NY. That right front is crunched.
Yeah, that is destroyed for sure, and he didn't have the qualifying effort that he wanted, and so that put him into the back of the pack, and that's kind of what led to this incident. Whether it was contact that put him into the outside wall or something else, that right front is just completely demolished. Such a shame, too, because for those guys, that's a brand new paint scheme that they brought to the track with the camo, the American flag on the Stokes Shoes, and their night ends only 12 laps in.
Yeah, Jack Baldwin didn't qualify as well as he had hoped, but he has had a heck of a first half of the season, but the second half does not start well for that Tommy Baldwin Racing team.
See the cleanup crew making sure there's no pieces of leftover metal in the top part of 1 and 2.
Let's go to the Racing Electronics race communication. We're going to dial in the leader of this race in that 15 car, Carson Lofton. Carson, it looks like things are going well. How's that car feel?
Feels really good right now. We're just kind of pacing ourselves. It's a long race. I feel like it's going to be a lot of adversity throughout this race. You know, there's so many cars. It's so hot outside, track slick. So I kind of anticipated a lot of yellows tonight. So just the main thing is just battling for the attrition and hopefully being there by the end.
I think I heard you say the track was pretty slick. How slick is it on a very hot day here in central North Carolina?
And you don't even know. It's always like this the 4th of July, so this race is always hard for us and everyone. Just track's so slick, so it's just main thing is staying on top of the track all night long and making the right adjustments at the stop.
Hey, is your dad on the radio? I know earlier today you said he was guiding you a little bit. Is he still on the radio with you?
He's somewhere on here.
Hey, Brian, how's the kid doing?
He's doing all right so far. I'm pretty happy with the way he's done. I don't know if I could have done much better.
Good luck, guys. We appreciate you.
Give up.
Brian Lofton, Carson Lofton's dad, a former champion in Southern Modified Racing. Brian with that unbelievably good-looking red number 23 car for so many years, won so many races here at Caraway Speedway.
So cool to have that father-son duo working together like that. And then the races that Carson does come and race with us throughout the year, that 15 car is always up in the front. It's always prepared well. It's always qualifying in that top 4. It's so cool to see.
Yeah, and Carson talked about expecting a lot of cautions here tonight. When a slick racetrack happens underneath the heat, usually it's kind of like Larry McReynolds says, cautions breed cautions. The CitraSafe Choose cone is out, and Joey Braun keeps on, clicking his way to that high groove. Let's see what he can do here on this restart. He's been pretty good. He's been able to stay toe-to-toe for a battle lap with Carson Lofton.
The big thing is he's been able to fall behind Lofton if he can't get that move done. So picking the outside hasn't been a punishment for Braun, so you might as well keep doing it because it may pay off in one of these restarts.
Caution light still out. It'll be another lap at least before we go back to green flag racing. Want to go a little bit deeper in the field and talk about a driver. You see Austin McDaniel on pit road early in that Kevin Hughes racing machine, the Honda of Concord race car. Austin has struggled a little bit in his adaptation from full body cars to modified stock cars. We are going green. Carson Lofton fires very late in the Pace-O-Matic restart zone, and Joey Braun is there, but look out. That 0-4, that Polaris off-road machine of Brandon Ward looks stout.
That run off of 2 is just so good for Joey Braun, but this time he could not clear Brandon Ward. He looks like he's going to do it off of 4, though. This Braun car is really good off the exit of these turns.
Contact between the 24 and the 0-4. Braun and Brandon Ward. It opens up the door for Jake Crum. He dive bombs it down there. Not going to be able to get the momentum off the corner to make the pass. Battle for 5th as the caution comes out. Once again, remember we're racing to lap 30. That'll be the conclusion of the first stage of this race thanks to Bell Helmets. They always reward some points as well as some extra cash to the top 3 finishers. Daniel Yates stops on the racetrack in that Yates grading and paving machine. Jerry Hunt Super Center on the side of that race car as well for Daniel Yates. And this is one of Daniel Yates' better racetracks, honestly. If you take a look at what he's been able to do in his career, his best effort, a 4th place run back in 2020, but a good run in 23, a 9th place run. He's run well in the North-South Shootout. So Daniel Yates, if he's going to have a good run, most likely it's going to come here at Caraway.
I feel like outside of most of these drivers' home tracks, Caraway is one of the tracks that these drivers have the most experience at, because we're here twice with the Smart Tour. Then you have the North-South Shootout and open modified races. So these guys come here a lot to come and race, and so that leads into the experience. But on a day-to-day like today where it was just so hot, it's kind of an unknown a little bit. You hear the track's still slick, and it's nighttime.
Brandon Ward running in the 3rd spot. Brandon, what do you think about that Polaris off-road machine?
I mean, so far it's pretty good. Just need a little bit of track position here, trying to take care of it. But really good race car, wheel spa. All these KP Speed Motorsports guys, they do a great job like they have all year, man. Real happy with it. So, man, just hope we can get some green flag runs in here and we're having all these cautions. But we'll see how it unfolds and see where we end up.
I want to know your perspective. This is the first time you're running on a partially repaved racetrack. How has it changed the game at Caraway?
It's definitely different. 2 totally different ends. I almost wish they would have done 1 and 2 just like 3 and 4. It's did a really good job down here. So it has changed the complexion of the racetrack, though. It's really good in 3 and 4 as far as grip goes, and still worn out in 1 and 2. So it's tough to set up more. Will's had his work cut out for him, man. These guys are working hard in the heat to try to compensate for that. But we're glad to be back at Caraway. Glad to be racing here on July the 4th.
Good luck, Brandon, and maybe we'll talk to you later.
Bob.
Will Spa is the Will that he was talking about, the crew chief on that machine for the Kevin Powell Speed Motorsports effort. And man, I tell you what, everybody knew he was a championship contender coming into the season, and right now, 3rd in points. Now, there is a little bit of gap between he and 2nd place in the points, Ryan Newman, as well as Danny Bone, your point leader. But that 3rd through about 6th in the points, just an incredible battle right now.
Yeah, one of those drivers in Jack Baldwin already out of the race, so that's going to lengthen it a little bit more. But for Brandon Ward, he's been so good, and then the things that are out of his control are what put him so far back.
Here's a look at the point standings, and we talked about that battle from 3rd through 6th. That's Brandon Ward through Burt Myers, and they're just locked in. It's only a couple of points that separate 4 overall from 3rd back to 6th. You see the advantage for Danny Bone as well as Ryan Newman. And a little bit further back, by the way, Jack Baldwin, 4th in points, had trouble right there. So others might be able to capitalize here tonight. But Joey Braun having a good run. Braun back 7th in the series point standings. Will Lambros not having a good night. He's still a little bit further back from the field, at the end of the field, about 5 cars up from the tail end. And he is the top rookie so far in the series.
It's going to be very interesting to see how this race plays out as we see Joey Braun take the bottom here for the first time. And so it's going to be the first 3 cars in the lineup on the bottom row, and it's going to be Jake Crum going from 4th place to the outside of the first row.
Are you surprised Jake Crum jumped to the outside for that opportunity?
Not at all.
That's right. That's right. Jake Crum, one tough customer in the number 1 machine. We're coming back to the restart this time by. Let's see what Jake Crum can do with this opportunity. Remember, he won the most recent race with the Smart Modified Tour back at Franklin County Speedway at the end of May.
Danny Bone also jumps up from 6th place to 2nd on the outside row. So it's going to be interesting to see these guys trying to get track position because it's going to be vital tonight.
Ooh, a little bit of gamesmanship being had right there. Carson Lofton has to be the first to fire, and you can see he's always late in that restart zone presented by Pace-O-Matic. Takes Jake Crum a little bit high there, but look at the run that the Dark Knight has on Carson Lofton. We have a battle for the lead in the Revolutionary 99. But that battle dissipates quickly. Lofton just so good with his momentum off the corner, but Crum a wrap tap tap to the back bumper of the 15.
And Danny Bone is on the outside of Joey Braun, trying to get around him. His car rolls really well on the outside of 3 and 4. Gets a little loose there, so Braun gets ahead of him by half a car length.
Brandon Ward lost a spot or 2 possibly, depending on whether Danny Bone can get to the position on the 0-4. Nope, the 0-4 going to be able to hold that one, so only -1 on that restart for Brandon Ward.
It looks like the top lane is good for about 1 to 1.5 laps. But after that, you got to be on the bottom lane because we just saw Danny Bone go from fighting for 2nd all the way back to 5th.
Little side-by-side battles a little bit further back outside the top 5. Here we go, actually, a battle for 5th. We saw Danny Bone and Luke Baldwin. We haven't spoken about him during green flag racing action, but Luke Baldwin is there trying to take the position from the point leader. Baldwin, it's been a miserable year for the 2-time and defending champion of the Smart Series. Looks like he's going to be able to get that spot and move into the top 5. Baldwin, a winner here last September in the Robert Jeffries Memorial.
Danny Bone may be in trouble here too because there's kind of a freight train lining up behind him. You see Burt Myers go for it.
Contact between the 1 of Jake Crum and the 0-4 of Brandon Ward. Another piece of contact there. Crum says, I'm going to settle down, let you have the spot, Brandon. So now Jake Crum back to 3rd, Brandon Ward up to 2nd.
It's a good job by Jake Crum, realizing it's way too early to be making that kind of contact. Just let him go and both keep yourselves in the race. But the big thing is, Bob, Joey Braun has jumped up from 3rd and now is running down Carson Lofton once again.
We'll see if he can get there right now. A little bit early in this race, about 8 laps shy of the conclusion of Bell Helmet Stage 1. Here's a side-by-side battle. This is the number 20 machine of Paulie Hartwig III, one of the rising young talents in America, coming off that win in Lancaster, New York on Thursday in the Race of Champions Modified Series. But it's Joey Coulter, a former winner here at Caraway, who gets by the number 20 in the Grey Ghost 02. Kyle Sisko right in front of Joey Coulter. Coulter gives him a little bit of a nudge, and Kyle Sisko, one tough customer, won a pole here last year for this race.
And right behind them, you have Bobby Labonte, who's starting to work his way up through the field methodically. Started 22nd, and he's right off the back end of 13th.
By the way, I want to give a shout out to Kyle Sisko's car owner who stayed home to be with his wife his wife Donna. So a shout out to the both of you watching live tonight on Flow Racing. There's Bobby Labonte in the 16 VA with Pace-O-Matic on that race car. Bobby always carries the Cookout colors as well. But Labonte qualified poorly for tonight's starting lineup. Mired back in the 22nd starting spot, but Labonte is climbing his way through the field right now and trying to make his way up to the top 10, currently being scored in 14th. There goes Coulter. Coulter's got a fast race car here tonight. And Joey Coulter needs to get going. He's had an up and down first part of the season. Coulter always a threat to win, but if you think about it, man, he only has 3 top 10 efforts and a single top 5 run in the first 7 races of the year.
It's been a rough one, not getting the finishes he deserves, and that kind of starts with the qualifying. He hasn't been the best at qualifying this year, and that's kind of what's led to it.
Melissa Byfield in the black 01 car is down a lap. Coming to the Bell Helmet stage checkered flag. And the stage checkered flag is now waved for all the competitors. And the VCU Massey Comprehensive Caution Center caution comes out. We want to say thank you to the VCU Massey Comprehensive Cancer Center for all they do and providing the coverage during the caution flags here for the Smart Modified Tour in 2026. So, man, we were amped up for that one. First 30 laps is done. We still have 69 more to go in Central North Carolina with the Smart Modified Tour. We'll be back here in Sophia with more from Caraway Speedway with the Smart Modified Tour.
I've been all up and down the East Coast racing all my career, and I loved it. I wasn't satisfied if I wasn't in a race car and on the road.
Friday, August 7th, the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic, honors a legend.
I just loved it modified. I just love racing modified. It's just more exciting.
Don't miss the Radford race at Pulaski Motorsports Park.
That's the reason I race, just being able to outrun the rest of the guys.
Race number 8 for the Smart Modified Tour season. We're past the halfway point, and tonight is the Revolutionary 99 at Caraway Speedway. Trouble for Paulie Hartwig III just prior to the end of Bell Helmet Stage 1. He pulled onto pit road, just talked to that team via their radio, and problems underneath the hood for Paulie Hartwig III. Second place right now is the Amerifast Supply of North Carolina, number 24, and that is Joey Braun. Joey, how's that car right now?
I feel like we're pretty decent. fastest cars on. But yeah, great piece tonight.
Joe, you've been so close. This car has been good. You've been so good. Just, what is your thought on that 15 in front of you, and is he beatable tonight?
Even Superman has kryptonite, right? So you just see how it plays out. Don't want to go too hard here. It's the last lap that counts, so I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch yet.
Joey, good luck, and go get yourself a trophy.
More appreciate it.
The Highmark Building Efficiency number 24 of Joey Braun. Haven't had the opportunity to talk to him too much, but as we mentioned, this kid likes to fish. He's on Long Island. You got the ocean on the South Shore. You got the Long Island Sound on the North Shore. And man, he has caught himself some big fish lately. Follow him on Instagram, and you'll see not only racing, but some fishing as well off the Long Island Sound.
I'll tell you what, it makes me jealous. That is for sure. Seeing him pull up those striped bass, it's beautiful fish. And I mean, it just looks beautiful up there too. It's probably a lot cooler than it was here today, that's for sure.
Indeed, for sure. Although it gets very hot and humid on Long Island. Obviously, I lived there for the first 27 years of my life. I miss Riverhead Raceway, my home track prior to me leaving for the South. And you take a look, it was about, 99 degrees earlier today. It's down to 84. Man, it's like we're frozen now, right? It does. It's really hot right now. It says it feels like 88. I went outside. You haven't been out forever, but it's still pretty sweaty out there for everybody here in attendance, and we appreciate it. Good crowd here tonight at Caraway for a very hot race in the middle of July. There's the CitraSafe Choose Cone, and as I mentioned, got a chance to go by the CitraSafe headquarters here in North Carolina. Did the Orange Bumper podcast this week. Burt Myers, Philip Dixon, myself talked about anything and everything for sure, from racing to families to talent coming up through the ranks. So make sure you check out the Orange Bumper podcast. Download it wherever you find your podcast and find it on YouTube.
It was a good podcast. I listened to it yesterday. I learned a lot just from listening to it. I mean, I still not an expert in every single motorsport aspect, so it's always nice to listen to the guys that have been doing it forever, and I can always take something away from it.
You just like the fact that your name was mentioned in that podcast as a member of a new effort in racing called the Repave, news, information, and a centralized source for pavement racing. Back to the restart. Joey Braun on the outside of Carson Lofton once again, as he referred to Lofton just during our conversation with Joey Braun. He says Superman's got to have some kryptonite. He hasn't shown it. Contact between Braun and Brandon Ward. Ward hard into the wall, and everybody goes all over the place. Wow, that was a hard lick on a couple of different occasions. Joey Coulter involved in this one. One of the Rookie of the Year contenders, Max Hanley, also involved. Ethan Truel in the Hillbilly Motorsports number 79. Austin McDaniel, another rookie, and Daniel Yates as well as Jason Myers and Sean McIlerney. So almost the entire Rookie of the Year contingent for the Smart Modified Tour this year involved in that one.
And just before that last caution, we were talking about Joey Coulter's bad luck, and once again, he is ended up into the wreck. So just another bad luck run for that O2 team. It was a really hard hit for Brandon Ward and for Jason Myers running into the back of Brandon Ward, but hopefully Brandon Ward's okay. Hit the tire barrier and then also got ran into the back of.
As you heard by that radio conversation on the 24 channel, red flag has come out as Brandon Ward's car is on the bottom of the racetrack on the entrance to turn number 3. Jason Myers down there as well as Sean McIlerney. We'll take a look at the replay of this one and try to figure out exactly what happened. There is the 04 machine on the inside. Joey Braun and the 24 on the outside. They are side by side coming off the corner. Some wiggles right there. And then it looks like there might have been, want to see that one more time, maybe even a little bit more slow-mo. It looked like there might have been some contact between the 04 and the 1 of Jake Crum that might have triggered this. And there's the cars stacking up. That's after the initial onset of the accident. But it shows you Kyle Sisko also involved in the white number 31 on the left side of your screen. We're going to take a look at this one more time. Watch. Let's see if Jake Crum and the 04 make contact. Brandon Ward comes up the racetrack, and it was contact from the right rear of Brandon Ward to the left front of Jake Crum that kind of put that 04 into the 24. And, man, there were some hard hits.
That's 3 really hard hits for Brandon Ward there. One that spun him around, then got hit in the rear, and then hit the wall once again. It looks like he is out of the car, though, so that is good to see. You see him and Jason Myers standing right next to each other there.
Yeah, they are. Well, in the previous shot, they were to the right of the pole, but you can see from our Citrus Safe Carolina Drilling drone coverage, Jason Myers walking away and Brandon Ward walking to the back of his race car and now going back towards the tow truck. But those cars are crunched back there. The 04 and the 4 will have to get a tow off this racetrack.
That 04 car may have the most damage I have seen in a long time on a modified.
With the exception of a couple cars that flipped last night in the SK
Very
modified
true.
race. You saw it live on Flow Racing at Stafford Motor Speedway. But that 04 Polaris off-road machine crunched. He might have been better racing with one of those off-road machines by Polaris than this one after that contact right there. Holy moly. And you can see the front end damage to the 4 machine. That is the Slate Myers car that he has run with on the Smart Modified Tour. Uncle Jason was in the cockpit of that machine here tonight. Got to take a look at this, and we're just analyze it like you at home on Flow Racing. But now that we got a better perspective of what happened, we're going to show it to you one more time between the 04 machine, the 24, and the number 1 machine as well. And then everybody and their brother came in after that. By the way, when you see everybody dice in afterwards, Will Ambrose missed it. It was incredible. Here's the replay. Watch the 1 and the 04. The 04 kind of slides high a little bit right there into the 1, bangs the 24 as well. Watch this hit by Jason Myers. Myers with nowhere to go in this incident to bring out the red flag. One more angle, and this is where you're going to see, watch Will Ambrose, that red 77, and how he drives through this. I don't know how he got through it. So many others making contact, but he kind of just slithers his way through that one like a snake.
Lambros has some road course experience too, so that could kind of play a role into that with that road course experience. Sometimes those cars just kind of veer everywhere, and it was beautiful just watching him thread the needle there.
We're going to try to dial Will Lambros up on the Racing Electronics Race Communication to talk to him, but you see that damage to both of those race cars.
Just completely destroyed, and you see the front of that 4 car for Jason Myers just completely caved in that left front, and then the right rear of Brandon Ward is just destroyed. This one's going to take a little bit to clean up, but on that replay you saw the backstretch is just so narrow. They had to just work their way around each other, and then it just led to everybody just kind of running into each other.
We just saw the expertise of a road course veteran in a modified get through that wreck, and I don't know how he did it. So we'll go back to the Racing Electronics Race Communication. Will Lambros, we were just talking about how you made your way through that wreck. I don't know how you did. Did you close your eyes, or how did that work?
I don't know either. As I was coming through, there was kind of like a clearance of the smoke, and I was able to get down on the apron there, I guess. Definitely lucky. There was a lot of cars.
Good job driving. That's how you got through that one. Just as far as your race here tonight, I know you're struggling a little bit. What's wrong with that race car at this juncture of the race?
Honestly, I feel the car setup is pretty good. It's driving pretty nicely. I think I have a little bit of a motor problem. I think I'm a little down on the horsepower, but I'm not too sure yet. So we're just going to keep the nose clean and see if we can get a good points night. And I think that'll be a big thing here with this race tonight, and taking it from here.
Persevere, my friend, persevere. I think like 3 or 4 of the rookie contenders were involved in that one. So who knows how this is going to pan out. We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Bob.
Will Ambrose behind the wheel of that 77, and that was a piece of driving indeed. Tell you what, while we're under red flag conditions here at Caraway Speedway with the Smart Modified Tour, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with all the racing action. You won't miss a thing. But right now, red flag conditions during this one at lap 30 of 99 in the Revolutionary 99 for the Smart Modified Tour.
Flow Sports proudly celebrates 250 years of determination, competition, and the pursuit of excellence that define the American spirit.
We are live on Flow Racing with the Revolutionary 99 at Caraway Speedway under red flag conditions for an unreal wreck down into turn number 3. All drivers have climbed out of their race cars and walked away. Brandon Ward, Jason Myers with the most damage. Jason's brother is Burt Myers, and he is running in, I think, the 5th spot right now. Burt, having a good run here tonight, but you were right behind all that craziness. What did you see?
You probably got a better look on the replay than I will, just because it was so hard to tell exactly what happened. There was contact between the 1JC and the 04. I don't know if it looks like maybe the 04 got a little loose and chased up the hill, and then they made contact, but I hit the 1JC square, and we drove through it. So luckily, we're unscathed.
That's good for you and that CitraSafe team and Daggett and Schuler as well on your car for this race. But, Bert, you got a good race car. Are you just biding your time, or what's the strategy right now?
Yeah, I'm just trying to be pleasantly persistent. We do have a really good car tonight, but it's about being in the right lane on these restarts. When you restart on the outside, it's just hit or miss whether you can get in line or not. Sometimes you have to give up a spot to stay in the bottom, and it's just a cat and mouse game. But yeah, we're here in a little bit. We're going to put a rear tire on this thing and hopefully be closer to the front.
Well, Bert, since we're in red flag conditions, I still got some time with you. I just want to know, Caraway Speedway, you won here 14 times, but they repaved a portion of the track last year. Just how has that changed things for you?
Well, to be honest, you can kind of wing it in 3 and 4 with the new pavement. Everybody's still fighting the same old Caraway in 1 and 2. Just the lack of grip from all the way through the pretty soon, I hope.
Indeed, indeed. And one last thing, just kind of a double question for you, because I know how patriotic you are. And this is 4th of July weekend. It's Freedom 250 weekend. Obviously a big deal for our country. Just your thoughts on that, as well as your dad getting the Eternal Flame Award from the Smart Modified Tour, Gary Myers, prior to the race.
Yeah, it's a special weekend to be here. 250th birthday for America. You know, like I said earlier, I just don't want to forget not just the Lord, but the people who fought and are still fighting to give us that freedom. And yeah, for my dad tonight, we never told him what we were doing, and we said, come out here, and he kept asking, what are we doing? What are we doing? So I hope he was genuinely surprised, and we're just proud as a Myers family.
It was a great honor for sure, I'm sure, for your dad, and it was great to see the entire family together. And by the way, good podcast. I've been listening, and thanks for having me on this week.
Pleasure, buddy. Thank you.
Burt Myers behind the wheel of the number one and talking about the Orange Bumper podcast. Check that out on YouTube. It's a lot of fun. He's had a lot of great guests. The late Kyle Busch was on this year. Chris Williams, series director, Matthew Dillner, and tons of other racers and other industry people as well. But we are still under red flag conditions here. They're still trying to clean things up down in turn number 3 here at Caraway Speedway. There's Kyle Cisco. Cisco from New Jersey. Man, this kid, his dad, Brian Cisco, he was a madman back in the day. A legendary wrench in, modified racing up north, especially around the New Jersey area. Brian also stepped behind the wheel, of a modified, won races there as well. And, he saw me today, and you got to love Brian, because he's like the only guy from back in the day that all of a sudden you hear, that he's here because you hear, hey, Dilrod, what's up, man? And we went over and had a conversation, and Kyle, his son, is doing such a good job behind the wheel of this 31 car.
You can see a little bit of damage on the rear end of that 31 where he got collected into that. Looks like he should be pretty fine to continue. A little rear end damage won't hurt the car. And there's a couple cars around him, too, that have all got a little mixed up into that mess. And then pit road also as busy as can be. But Cisco going to try to recover now. Spun from the 11th position. So with a bunch of cars out, at least he's going to have a chance to work his way back up through.
Kyle Cisco, Bob Dillner in the Flow Racing booth. How are things going right now?
Kind of been an up and down day for us so far. Kind of missing the handle a little bit, just trying to maintain and lock some laps and maybe get to the adjustment or the pit stop here, but I think we might come in once we get rolling here and try to make an adjustment and make it better for them.
10-4, you were involved in that incident up there. What did you see from your perspective?
I don't know, maybe row 2 or 3 got checked up, jammed up, and they started wrecking. The outside lane checked up real quick. I checked up. I got in the back of Newman. Somebody got in the back of me. Somebody got in the back of him. It was just a chain reaction, and unfortunately we went around.
Kyle, they're still cleaning things up down in turn number 3, but I know your car owner and the family watching tonight. You want to give them a shout out?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, we'd like to be running a little bit better, but we're going to come in, get an adjustment here, and go to the front, man. Hopefully make you proud, Steve.
Good luck the rest of the race, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Bob.
Kyle Cisco, talented driver from New Jersey, coming down. He loves Caraway Speedway. He was down here on a couple occasions last year, had a good run in the North-South Shootout as well. Finished 6th in this race last year. And there's Austin McDaniel, trouble for the Honda of Concord machine. McDaniel, man, it's been a tough first part of the season. You see Tommy Buzzy walk away as well from his Alpine Partners number 5. Early end of the day for both of those competitors.
Yeah, and you can see the back end of that race car for McDaniel just completely caved in. It looks like once we go back under the yellow, they're going to try to repair it, but both ends of that vehicle are pretty much crunched in. Look at the front end there where that's some bad damage. It's going to be interesting to see. It looks like the nose kind of shifted to the right a little bit. They got the fans in there trying to cool it down. Now that the yellow is coming back out, they are going to be able to start working on these vehicles. There's Bryce Bailey's 39 car.
Yeah,
And
that's the Factory 39 team with garage doors of the Triad on the side of that race car. Bryce Bailey is an interesting story. You can see the damage on the front end of that car. Bailey last year, a 3-time pole sitter with the Smart Modified Tour, ran, 5 different rides last year. This year he's been on and off. But Bryce Bailey actually had Lyme's disease earlier this year, and it really kind of took a toll on him. He works for Rick Ware Racing. He's been in and out of this seat on a part-time basis in the 39 car. But he did go up to Evergreen Raceway in Pennsylvania about a month ago, I believe it was, and he won a Tour-Type Modified Open show at that racetrack in the number 12 machine owned by Paul French. So Bailey can get it done. He certainly can. But tonight, some trouble early for that 39 car. Jake Crum, by the way, after that incident, contact with that race car, he's on pit road. He relinquishes a top 5 spot.
you see Cisco come in like he told us on air to come get that adjustment to hopefully get that car handling the right way.
So Cisco, John Michael Chanette is on pit road. If we widen out our shot a little bit, just want to note that the 99 of Sean McIlerney also on pit road, but looks like they are going to be out of the race. There is the Mount Airy Toyota machine for Jake Crum, winner at Franklin County Raceway, but right now he's checking things out, making sure the toe is okay. You see those toe plates and the tape measures on the front of that car. That contact from the right rear of Brandon Ward to the left front of Jake Crum, could be knocked out of whack, that front suspension. So they're making sure even if they have some bent spots, and you see on the radio on the left front of that car is Justin Link, the crew chief for Jake Crum, making sure things are okay, making sure Jake has the wheel indexed the way it needs to be, and they put those toe plates on there again to get another measurement. Toe on the front end of this race car has a lot to do with how those cars turn in the center of the corner.
This is such a cool view, too, that Carolina Drilling and Citrus Safe give us from the drone, just looking down at everything going on the car, and they're just kind of communicating across that across the front of that car to get everything correct.
Long way to go in this one. It's okay that Jake Crum is down there, and it's the interesting thing is, there was a story on the repave about it's good to be a Crum right now. Well, Jake Crum in the number 1 won at Franklin County last week at Hickory Motors Speedway in the Carolina Crate Modified Series. That number 12 car right there, just to the left front of Jake Crum, that's Annabeth Crum. His wife, she won her first Carolina Crate Modified Series event. So the Crums winning in the Southeast right now. Congratulations to that family. You see Max Hanley in the 45 machine. That car appears to be done. So several competitors taken out in this wild one down in turn number 3.
That shortened the field quite a bit, and it's going to be interesting to see now how the momentum of the pack carries with the guys in the front on if they're going to be tested as much from behind or if Braun and Lofton can just go at each other for the remaining rest of the race.
The Citrus Safe Choose Cone. Carolina Drilling also bringing you this coverage thanks to Jason Tutterow and his entire company. Jason not running this race, but he does have a car in the field with Jimmy Wallace in the number 21 machine. Jimmy, a full-time competitor with the Smart Modified Tour, currently being scored in 21st. Austin McDaniel, he's got damage to the front and back of that race car. We're coming back to the green, it looks. Carson Lofton on the inside, Joey Braun on the outside, Luke Baldwin and Burt Myers in that second row as the green flag flies once again. Lofton so good on his restarts. Braun going to settle into second. Battle is for third. The one car of Burt Myers on the outside of that Pace-O-Matic machine. Step down on Luke Baldwin coming off of turn 4.
That could have been big because you have two wide behind them too with Danny Bone and Ryan Newman. But it looks like Myers, great run out of 2 and just couldn't clear Baldwin. But trying to get the run out here, pinches him down a little and is going to clear him.
Yeah, Burt Myers gets the spot. I think that surprised Luke Baldwin mightily inside the cockpit of that Pace-O-Matic 7 VA. Now the battle is on behind that. We got Ryan Newman and Danny Bone duking it out for 5th. Newman on the outside of the Bass Pro Shops number 2. Carter McMurray Oh, did you see Newman lose the handle on that race car? McMurray watching that battle right in front of him in the number 40 car. Chase Robertson solidly in the top 10 behind McMurray, but Danny Bone gets the spot. Bone has been up and down and all around that top 5 this entire race. He's back to 5th.
Single file now throughout most of the top 10. Looks like a majority of them from Robertson to first has kind of pulled away from the rest of the pack. Will Lambros in 9th, Joey Coulter in 9th, Cisco in 10th. Lambros starting to fall back now as Jake Crum goes underneath, but you can see single file. Bone, a little bit of a look inside on Baldwin, but couldn't get anything doing.
And remember, a lot of people on pit road and that prior caution, a lengthy caution. Bone going for the spot, going to the inside of Luke Baldwin. Baldwin going to give him the lane. Danny Bone very strong at this juncture. Luke Baldwin kind of holding on a little bit. He's going to want to close the door on Ryan Newman if he can. Newman not there. Newman's got a crunched up front bumper from that incident just prior here during the lap 30 marker.
The good thing is it's still usable because it's not facing towards the sky, so we'll be able to actually at least utilize it a little bit.
Yeah, it's not far. It's actually not out in front of that scoop on that nose piece, so he's got to be careful. It might be able to connect with the back bumper of another car and sneak that nose piece underneath. Carter McMurray has been pretty impressive. 2 straight top 5 runs for him. He led the field to the green flag at Franklin County back at the end of May. Son of Jamie McMurray, former Daytona 500 winner, and really kind of coming into his own this year with the Smart Modified Tour. Sits just outside the top 10 in points.
He's been really consistent, especially in the last 2 races, 2 top 5s in a row, and that's going to help him work his way up through the points. Sitting 11th right now, so he has a little bit of a hole to climb through. But if you look at the points, everybody's so close together in segments that it's going to be interesting to see as we see Lambros on the screen. He's been kind of dropping back very much since the restart.
Ethan Trull in the 79, right behind Daniel Yates. This a little bit further back in the field. Both of those guys hoping to do what they can here. Lambros is in 12th, 13th, Daniel Yates and Ethan Trull in the 79 behind that. Leader is Carson Lofton. Joey Braun just behind him by about 4 or 5 car lengths. Burt Myers in the 3rd spot. There is Burt in the number 1 machine. He's in the citrusy black and orange car. Danny Bone behind him. I've been watching Jake Crum, and you see in your ticker right now, Jake Crum, who pitted in the other number 1 car. He is now up to 10th, starting to march his way through the field after that pit stop, after the contact on that big caution flag.
If we get a long run here, I'm going to be watching Danny Bone because it looks like as the night's going on, this car is getting a little faster and faster as he's starting to close into the back bumper of Burt Myers. But you just saw from that camera how much of a gap they opened up from Luke Baldwin.
You got 4 cars here in tow. Best battle, Ryan Newman, Carter McMurray, and the 11 of Chase Robertson, the 2-time NASCAR sportsman champ at Bowman Gray Stadium. The kid has got the whole package, honestly. And there's Jake Crum, the Mount Airy Toyota machine. Crum coming back from that pit stop up to 10th now. The next car in front of him is the 02 of the SRI Performance car for Joey Coulter. Coulter riding a little bit of a streak, trying to get another good finish. That 02 machine has been up and down so far this year. Besides that 14th place run in Franklin County, he had 3 straight top 10 finishes prior to that.
And he was involved in that big wreck and able to rebound at least to the top 9. So you feel like with that wreck, if you can just get that top 10, you salvage something.
Harold Holly and the boys at Rum Runner Racing, that's what they call their team. Work hard. Joey loves modifieds. The man, the bad luck bug, and some poor qualifying have certainly affected this team in the first half of the race. But now it's race number 8. We're in the second half of the season. Joey Coulter trying to turn it around. He was a playoff contender, as was Jake Crum in the Smart Modified Tour in that number 1 machine last year.
Jake Crum is fast, and I mean, he just drove right up to the back bumper of that 02 car, and if he can time it right, he has 5 positions within a second of him in front of him, and you see him dive to the inside there of Coulter, already trying to make one of those moves.
Yeah, Crum is good, but that car steps out on him coming off a 4. Not as bad as Luke Baldwin's did a couple of laps ago, but they tried. Remember, they had a bang to the left front tire on that race car. Justin Link and that team tried to set the toe, but who knows, maybe not exactly right. You see the front brake rotors glowing on the number 1 car.
Driving the wheels off of it right now to try to get that track position back. But we mentioned this track, you need that track position. It's going to be hard to pass. The primary groove is the bottom groove, and we see Crum once again banging Nerf bars there a little bit with Coulter trying to get around him.
Yeah, that car pushing a little bit when he goes to the bottom groove, shoves the nose, doesn't want to turn as well as Jake Crum needs it to, but he's just methodical with that throttle pedal right now, and that's going to enable him to get the spot on Joey Coulter. Crum up to 9th. By the way, we are past the halfway point in this race, and the halfway leader, Carson Lofton, gets a little extra cash thanks to H. Williams Capital. For all your financial needs, check out Haley Williams with H. Williams Capital.
This feels very similar so far to the last race that Carson Lofton ran with the Smart Modified Tour at Dominion. Qualified on pole and just ran away with it to not be seen the rest of the night.
But here's the interesting thing. When will the next caution flag come? I think a lot of these teams said we're not going to pit at that lap 30 mark, the Bell Helmet stage number 1, and then that lengthy caution. They were going to wait to take that coveted 1 tire that all teams have at their disposal on pit road till a little later in the race. But what if, and that's a big what if, but we've seen it before, what if that caution doesn't come out? Who has saved their stuff to be able to go to victory lane today? Has Carson Lofton been able to save enough?
It's going to be interesting as you see 2 of the Bass Pro Shop cars battling each other on the track. Ryan Newman, Carter McMurray. Newman very loose off a fork. McMurray goes right under him and tries to get that move done. Chase Robertson fills that hole right away to try to gain a position. And right behind him is Jake Crum.
Newman's in trouble. That car stepped down big time. He's in need of a tire and a major handling change on that race car. Sparks coming out from the back, and there's more problems than just handling for Ryan Newman. Championship contender Ryan Newman stopping on the racetrack in between turns 1 and 2 to bring out the VCU Massey Comprehensive Cancer Center caution.
On the back half of that shot come out of 4, we saw the back of the car bounce and sparks come out, so could be possibly a flat tire on that race car.
Broken suspension, and no, it's a left rear flat tire, quite possibly on that race car. Maybe something else amiss on the left rear, but Ryan Newman stopped on the racetrack. He doesn't want to damage that race car anymore. He's going to wait for the tow truck to come up and give him a push to the pit area. You see that front bumper on that aggressive hydraulics Bass Pro Shops machine and how it is crunched up from that earlier incident.
Yeah, I knew something was wrong with one of those rear tires because when you saw him going through 3 and 4, it kind of wiggled a little bit, and then that's when you saw him get off the pace and everybody flew by him. So it makes sense that it would be a left rear that went down.
And here's the rule for the Smart Modified Tour. If you stop on the racetrack and you move afterwards and go back to the pit area, then you're going to get a penalty. But if your car stops on the racetrack and you need a push from a tow truck or a push vehicle, then that is allowed. That is the ruling for the Smart Modified Tour, and that's exactly what's happening for Ryan Newman right now.
And with the fields freezing under caution with the non-competitive cautions, this will keep him on the lead lap and allow him to go change that tire and get the adjustment that he needs.
And he's finally able to get that car refired after a push. So Ryan Newman going to make his way to the pit area. It just dropped. He was in the top 5 prior to just a couple of laps ago. Dropped to 14th prior to this caution coming out. Bobby Labonte thought about coming down pit road, and Labonte in that 16 machine has never been what Bobby Labonte likes to be here at Caraway, former track champion in the late model stock cars. Newman on pit road. That team going to work. They're going to put their right rear tire on right now. So a fresh right rear going on that car. They're going to put their emergency tire, I believe, on the left rear. They got the back of the car jacked up right now. That Capital Automotive Group Aggressive Hydraulics car. By the way, Ryan Newman likes to do a little bass fishing on Sundays when not racing. Goes out on his Bass Pro Shops boat. And, man, that guy loves to fish. Whether it's in a stream, fly fishing, or bass fishing, Ryan Newman loves his outdoors.
We see every single car on the track besides one pit.
Carson Lofton on pit road, the Shitty Grady Racing team going to work on that race car. They too have that fresh right rear tire going on, as will most cars. And just to help with the heat and the speed of the show, the Smart Modified Tour officials allowed all the teams to pit at their trailers today rather than a designated spot that they select on pit road.
The only car still on track is Bobby Labonte, maybe trying to run a little strategy here.
And if we pan our camera left a little bit from Carson Lofton, we can go to the point leader, Danny Bone, in the 25 car. Danny Bone right behind Carson Lofton on pit road. And that Andretti team, Team 25, doing some work. Amerifast, Mark III employee benefits, and Verdant on the back of that race car, as well as Tom Dancer Farms, BKA Properties. So a lot of sponsors supporting the point leader for the Smart Modified Tour with his 3 wins already this year. He's the defending winner of this race. Another Amerifast car just to his left in the 24. That is Joey Braun. Braun has been right up in the thick of things, and that damage or the bump to the left rear tire doesn't seem to bother Joey Braun after they went back green flag racing.
It was able to maintain that second place position, but the only problem was Carson Lofton pulled a lead of over a second and a half on Braun. So hopefully he can get that adjustment he needs, and maybe this pit stop is the kryptonite to Carson Lofton's night.
So as these teams make some adjustments and take on that fresh rubber that they usually put on the right rear, that fresh Hoosier tire, we'll take a quick break here on Flow Racing. We'll come back with some more racing action and follow what's going on here. Bobby Labonte stayed out in that 16. We'll give you the scoop when we return to Flow Racing. We are back live on Flow Racing from Caraway Speedway. Bobby Labonte pulling around the pace truck to get back on the lead lap. A couple laps before we go green again. Bobby Labonte, now that you are back around that pace truck, just your thoughts on coming back to Caraway and competing with the Smart Modified Tour.
Yeah, this has always been, it has been my home track, and I do love coming here. It's just that we didn't have as good luck tonight, but we were making our way throughout. But yeah, it's always been a good place for me, and I always enjoy running here.
Bobby, what's that car doing for you right now?
Well, right now, I'll be honest with you, I was halfway home, and Phil called and said, hey, we got it fixed. So I jumped back in it, and I know I got a lot of camber in the right front because I can see that. So right now it's a little wicked, but we are going to try our best to get back on the lead lap here if we can do anything right, and maybe we can catch another caution here. But yeah, like I said, it's a little beat up, but it was going pretty good before that.
Bobby, we love you, buddy. I hope you have a good rest of the race.
Sir, thank you a lot.
Such a good spirit.
Very candid. So he was the wave around in this caution period, and Labonte trying to get back on the lead lap. Front row, same story that we've been seeing almost this entire race. Carson Lofton in the 15 and the 24 of Joey Braun coming back to the green.
One person I see in this shot that we haven't really talked about up front much so far is Carter McMurray, starting in 6th on this restart. So maybe with that pit stop, they get this thing dialed in and he could play a factor at the end.
Let's see what happens here. Braun, can he stay with Carson Lofton? Lofton's been so good so far. Danny Bone in the mix as well on the outside of that second row in the 25. Burt Myers fills the hole. He's on the inside of the 24 of Braun now. Myers in the 1, going for second. A little almost tap to the back bumper of Carson Lofton, but Burt Myers in the Citrus-Safe machine up to second in the Revolutionary 99. Danny Bone, what does he do? He's good buddies with Joey Braun. Amerifast Supply of North Carolina on the side of both of the 25 and the 24. Carter McMurray took a look to the inside of the 25 of Bone. Braun a little bit slow. Here comes Danny Bone looking to the inside in a battle for third.
With a fresh tire and only 36 to go, it's go time now. Very little take or very little give, much take. And we saw it with Danny Bone, who moved up Braun. Braun now loses a position to McMurray and then drops down in front of Baldwin.
Don't look now, but here comes Jake Crum. Crum on the back bumper of a very wild-looking race car, that 70 VA of Luke Baldwin, as the VCU Massey Comprehensive Cancer Center caution comes out once again. 65 laps into 99 complete here at Caraway Speedway.
And with that caution, things were just getting really, really interesting there. It looks like it's a flat right front tire on Ethan Truel.
Bad break for Ethan Truel, getting an opportunity of a lifetime to run with the Smart Modified Tour in a legendary ride. That's Sundrop number 79 for Hillbilly Motorsports. Truel has been running NASCAR Modifieds at Bowman Gray Stadium. He's got himself a handful of top 10 finishes this year. Bad break for that team. See if it's just the right front tire or if he's has any more suspension problems on that right front of that race car.
Truel was a part of that big wreck that we saw on lap 32, so could have been a byproduct of the contact in that wreck that led to that tire going down.
That team checking out the air pressure on that right front. They'll send Ethan Truhl in the EME Industrial number 79 back out on the racetrack. Off weekend from the stadium this week. Bobby Labonte coming down pit road in the 16. John Michael Chenette as well in the 8 car. Scoring for us is a little bit messed up right now. We're trying to sort things out, not for the series, just for us on our scoring monitor in front of us. There is Bobby Labonte, Phil Stefanelli. He owns PSR products that make a lot of the modifieds, the chassis for a lot of the modifieds that run on the Smart Modified Tour. Some major adjustments to Bobby Labonte. Trying to get that right front camber, like Bobby told us, pointed in the right direction.
How many rounds would you count there?
I just caught it, and I saw Phil just yanking on it. So he's making adjustments all over the place to get Bobby a little bit more comfortable inside the cockpit of that race car. You know, Bobby Labonte, he talked about this being his home track. You know, if you look back, Bobby Labonte has run a ton of races here. And if you look back at the late model stock car ranks, you'll see his name next to the 1987 track champion in the late model stocks here at Caraway. Oh, a little fighting going on down there. Look at that. Duking it out. That's Killer Cam Truitt. Going to be running the 602 Modified Series race here. Killer Cam, by the way, rising young talent in our sport. Got to check him out on Instagram. He is a hoot and a half. I'm telling you what, the kid, if he can't make it driving, he'll make it in the TV booth. He's got a personality. Talking to Neil Cantor, Neil has been guiding Killer Cam through his ranks, and I'm sure Killer Cam listening to a little Bobby Labonte as he pulls back off of pit road.
Those two working together too during the summer shootout, Neil Cantor and Killer Cam. So it's really fun to see. Not only are they working at the shootout together, but they're also working here at the track.
You got to say it right, okay? You said it with a little Eastern North Carolina-ism in there. It's not Killer Cam, it's Killer Cam.
Killer Cam.
Right in the middle of this one. Still got a lot of laps to go in this race. 65 still complete. And now Danny Bone jumps to the outside as Burt Myers, who was second, chooses the inside lane. Bone going to be able to see what he can do with that potent 25 race car on the outside of Carson Lofton. Nobody has had anything for the 15 so far today. Got to get to that box. He does. Lofton fires. Danny Bone pretty good. Bone is one tough customer on the outside. Best restart we've seen alongside of the 15 all night long. Can Danny Bone do anything? Lofton rides him high a little bit, and Bone loses that ground, going to try to fill the gap, and he does. Yellow flag back out. I see some smoke down in turn number 4, and it's Joey Coulter up against the wall coming off the corner.
A bad night gone worse for this 02 car. Just can't catch a break right now, and that bad luck bug is just sitting in that cockpit with Joey. Seems like week in and week out.
Major right front suspension damage on that car. He is toast for this one. 33 laps to go for the Smart Modified Tour here at Caraway. Let's see what we saw from this incident and what happened to Joey Coulter. On the outside of Jake Crum, looks like something broke and just shoved Joey Coulter into the outside wall.
It's almost like he went into a 4-tire slide there and just could not do anything about it. And that was a big hit with the wall. I mean, you can just see from how destroyed that right front is. You see him sitting there, going to get a push possibly down into the pit road, but that right front is toast, so he may need a tow from turn 4. They're talking with Joey in the car right now, deciding what they're going to do. They stopped the field on the backstretch and through 3 and 4 just to give them time to clear up this 02 car. They're bringing out the tow truck. with that big of a hit to the right front, it's kind of hard to drive it down the track. You can kind of see that white line on the bottom of your screen where he just kind of drug the front of that race car across the ground.
And I just spoke to his team on the radio, and Joey Coulter, who is now out of that race car, just reported, actually he's not out, but he's unplugged, I should say, not talking to his team anymore, but he had initially said, man, the car just bounced. He didn't know what happened. And I think by virtue of our replay, something broke in that race car. It didn't look like an ordinary tire go down. It looked like some sort of suspension might have broke in the Bilstein Shocks number 02. So, as we clean this one up here, late in the going of the Revolutionary 99, we are live on Flow Racing from Sophia, North Carolina, and we'll be back with more Smart Modified Tour Racing.
Welcome back to the Revolutionary 99. You can see Joey Coulter's car now getting hooked up to the double tow truck, but we are going to toss it over to Bob Dillner, who's got Ryan Newman.
Ryan Newman and that Bass Pro Shops machine at ninth. You had that problem down in 1 and 2. Where are you at right now? Do you have a shot at making your way through the field?
I think we're definitely got a better car than what we're sitting here in ninth. Just a matter of how these restarts play out. I don't think we'll have just one more. I think we could have a couple more at least. So just got to thank Bass Pro Shops, Capital Auto Group, Montrose Molders, Aggressive Hydraulics, Lucas Oil, and everybody that's a part of this program here to do what we do. We're not out of this by any means, but we're not in a good spot right now either.
What's this race been like? It seems from us up in the tower, it's been a little chaotic. Cars have been jumping out from underneath a bunch of people. What's contributing to that?
You know, this track is so unique now because it's repaved at 3 and 4, and it's old asphalt 1 and 2. And you can really rip through 3 and 4, and you just got to tiptoe through 1 and 2. It's like if you're a dirt racer, it's tacky at 3 and 4, and it's dry slick at 1 and 2. And it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of aggression at the same time. So, you know, just getting your runs and figuring out, you know, when to stick your nose, poke your nose in there, and hope that the guy in front of you, spotter, is listening to him.
Well, we appreciate you talking to us, and good luck to Brooklyn in the race coming up next after the Smart Mods. That was Ryan Newman on the radio with us here today during this red flag period of the Revolutionary 99. Cleaning up Joey Coulter's car in turn number 4. Got the cradle going for Coulter. That car is messed up after jumping sideways. Looked like something might have broke underneath the right rear suspension of that race car, and he hit the wall hard. I think we've spoken to almost everybody in the starting field, Will, except for Jay Crum, because we don't have his channel right now.
I feel like it. We've done a good job with the communication throughout the field. I think these driver interviews always add a little bit more to the broadcast because it takes us inside the race car.
Hey, the Cisco kid is moving his way back through the field. We spoke to him earlier. Kyle Cisco in the 31 is currently in 8th. I think we need to dial in Carter McMurray and see if we can chat with that young lad doing such a good job behind the wheel of the number 40.
As they continue the cleanup. Shout out to everybody staying out here. It's 11:16 p.m. on the East Coast, and you can see all these fans still lined up against that turn 3 and backstretch wall out there, staying and really toughing it out with all of us here. When the race is green, it's been great, and all these fans have been able to see a good show. You see a camper right there hooked up to a truck.
Going back to the Racing Electronics race communication, Luke Baldwin right in the middle of things. Man, by the way, that car looked like it just hopped out on you off of turn number 4 a little while ago. You got a better handle on it right now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're struggling to fire off with this new tire, but I like our odds to get some laps under green. So I'm looking forward to some green flag racing. I wish we would have a little bit more of that. But yeah, I had a couple moments there just being a little throttle happy, but you know, you'll with these things. So yeah, looking forward to the rest of this race. Hopefully we can mix it up and put ourselves further up front.
Luke, what is it about Caraway that makes this place just such a challenge for you drivers?
I think it's just the different ends, you know, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are about as different as any racetrack. So having to stay focused and hit the right mark on one end and change your mindset for the other end is difficult. So yeah, it's tough. And not only are they different, but they're difficult. Like you can't. It took me forever to figure it out, and I still don't know if I had it figured out. So, yeah, really tough racetrack. I've enjoyed coming here as Darren Hackett and everybody at Caraway Speedway have made really, really, really great improvements to the facilities, and yeah, just looking forward to some green flag racing.
Hey, I will say your performance tonight much better than that national anthem performance at the Cars Tour race about a month ago. Oh, Luke Baldwin, good luck to you the rest of the race, buddy.
Thanks, Bob.
Unfortunately, I think my radio is starting to die. We've used it so much in this race over the hour and 20 mark in this one so far at Caraway Speedway. So I think we'll take a quick break at Flow Racing and come back with some more racing action as they continue to clean things up here at Caraway Speedway. in the last third of the Revolutionary 99 for the Smart Modified Tour at Caraway Speedway under red flag conditions for a hard hit by Joey Coulter in turn number 4. They've cradled off that car. Joey is okay, but he is done for the night. I'm joined in the booth right now by Series Director for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic, Chris Williams. And big announcement this week, a new sponsor coming to the series, Win Cup Zone, a new drink that Win Cup is going to be offering to people around the country. It's going to start mid-July, but just a great opportunity between a very long-running partnership between you, a friend, as well as a new product coming into our world.
Well, yeah. Will Spencer's been in the racing industry for a very long time. He's created the Win Cup Zone. He's got some teas and some brew and some different things that he's working on, and he's going to, 2 weeks away from bringing it to the public. I know he's going to have it at Bowman Gray and a few other places. I know he's working on distributorships and stuff of that nature. And I'm telling you, it's going to be good. For people that want that liquids, and Will's a very good marketer, and it'll be good for us as well because he's a racer. He grew up racing. He grew up in the industry for over 25, 30 years. He's represented Fortune 500 companies, and he definitely gets the branding side of it, especially to our race fan, which is the everyday blue-collar person.
Turn 2 tea and last lap lemonade, 2 of the products that will be offered here in mid-July. They're supposed to debut that at Bowman Gray Stadium in just a couple of weeks, as Chris mentioned. But Win Cup Zone now, what does that mean to us? Basically where the top 3 finishers come to. It's a podium area, if you will, and that will be part of the Win Cup Zone. They will still climb out in Pace-O-Matic Victory Lane, but all 3 drivers will have a photo that's going to be taken with the Win Cup Zone podium finishers, as well as some celebratory champagne down in Victory Lane.
Yes, we have the champagne for the winner. They've created that liquid for us as well. And, you're going to get the podium finishers for the top 3. We interview anyway, but it's a good Photoshop, not only for us, but also for the brand. And, what we do, with Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic is we, definitely have the best brands in the industry. They've been with us from the beginning. We don't do this without Pace-O-Matic because they definitely understand and love racing as we do. I'm telling you, it's a good problem to have to add sponsorship.
Indeed, and Pace-O-Matic has been part of this series for a long time now. They feel like family for sure, and sometimes they come to the racetrack, check things out, especially when we're up there in the Virginia area. They were down at Anderson in South Carolina last year, but that family, the Pace family, as well as what they do and what they're trying to establish with their company is just so important.
Oh, it's monumental. Giving back to the community, not only for small businesses, to put it back into their businesses, but, also to bring credibility, to that market that they're working in. And, they get it. They understand it. They're competitors. Mike's a tinker, but he's also a smart individual who created these things on his own with these machines and stuff. And I'm telling you, it's fun to be around, entrepreneurs, but people that also love competition. And the modified world is definitely the competition. It's where we're at.
John Michael Chanette stopped on the racetrack, not able to get going, so we're going to send a tow truck out there to push that number 8 machine. Well, what are you thinking about the battle here? You're a fan, too, of racing. Carson Lofton has been dominant, but Danny Bone looked pretty good on that last restart.
Yeah, the 15's running for something. They have a thing here where if he wins 4 or 5 events throughout the year, sometimes it's an open event or whatever, he gets extra cash. So he's running for something. I think Danny's been saving a little bit, waiting for the end of the race. The problem is we can't get 15 to 20 laps going before something else happens. And they're not holding back. The one thing that I do see, nobody is cruising. They're running hard, and when you run hard, things like this happen. But I hate it. I want, everybody wants an hour and 10-minute race and get out of here. But at the same time, we understand what these guys are doing. We understand what they're dealing with. A couple of hard crashes already, and it's going to get interesting. I mean, we got 30-some laps to go, and I think it's just begun, to be honest with you. I think Bert's running one of his better races he's run this year. I see a couple other cars kind of moving forward. The one took the pit stop with Crum, and he's actually moved way up in the top 10, so it's going to be interesting to see how he moves forward.
Real quickly, look at that paint scheme on the 25 car. Red, white, and blue, stars and stripes on that race car. Fine looking machine for Danny Bone. But this weekend, important for all of us as Americans to celebrate the 250th birthday of the United States of America. And to be racing this weekend, how important is it for the Smart Modified Tour?
Well, you know, we as Americans, you know, not only love for the racing, love for God, love for each individual, but also for our country. And for us to be here performing on the 4th of July as we are, you know, for everybody that's given us that liberty to do and have the freedom that we have. We're the best country in the world by far. And it's a God-loving country. And so putting racing and everything together, that's what it's all about. And I love it. I mean, it's hot. People do not realize how hot it's been today. It's one of the hottest races I've been to in quite some time. Yesterday was 107 here, 108. And I mean, it's just crazy. But I mean, the crowd that hadn't left are still all here. You know, it's great to be here on the 4th. I don't think it happens again. Somebody said till 2037 or something like that. So I guess we won't be seeing this, you know, much for anymore. But
so I can get out on the lake on the 4th of July for at least 10 years or so.
You get your freedom. But you know, it is what it is. But you know, the paint scheme looks good. You know, I like the individuality of changing and stuff of that nature. You know, and you know, it's a good looking car.
By the way, real quickly, you want to talk about this new die-cast, the 1/64 scale that Ryan Newman's got coming out?
Oh, yeah. So Ryan Gettings has been working on this for about 6 or 7 months, and he brought the 1/64th out. It just hit the country yesterday. It's a great piece. First die-cast and modified that's realistically ever been done. That's all metal. The Nerf bars are metal. You know, it's so much detail, it's not funny. We're about a month away from the 1/24s coming in, and you know, it's great to celebrate these race cars as they are, not only now, but also in the past history. These cars hadn't changed much since 1982, to be perfectly honest with you. And so they're the sexiest race car there is, and everybody wants to get a piece of it. I'm sure Newman will be glad to start selling them, but you'll see some more coming out of here in the near future.
Well, thank you so much, Chris Williams. He's going to head back to the race control area. With Casey Long, by the way, filling in for David Hoots. Speedy recovery to you, David Hoots. We miss you here, but Casey Long doing a great job as the race director for the Smart Modified Tour tonight at Caraway Speedway. Here we go. Big restart. Can Danny Bone dethrone who has been the king here today so far, Carson Lofton, on this restart?
Another great restart by Bone. He really rolls too well on the outside. It's just through 3 and 4, he cannot get anything done because Lofton will wash up as he did there and push him out of the groove, and then Lofton's just off into the sunset.
Now, Danny Bone does not have a chrome horn, but he's got a black bumper, and he's starting to use it right there to let Carson Lofton know, hey, I got a fast race car. You got to give me a groove, buddy. And he is pushing hard, that 15 car, knocking him up the racetrack. And I like what Carson Lofton was doing there. He was off the gas, rolling, and even on the brake a little bit, trying to slow down Danny Bone behind him.
It's all go time now. 31 laps left. You got to start showing your cards now to try to get up to the front, because once they start stringing out, it's going to get a lot harder to pass.
Carson Lofton just so good. Look out, we're 3 wide in turns 1 and 2. A little melee down there. Ryan Newman trying to capitalize on that one, as is Jake Crum. Wow, that was wild in a hurry.
Looked like Luke Baldwin misjudged the turn a little bit and washed him and Joey Braun up, and that's now dropped them back a bunch. But it's also great for the 2 cars we see on screen. Ryan Newman and then Jake Crum trying to work his way all the way through the front, but look who's underneath Crum. Cisco.
Kyle Cisco, the Cisco kid. Newman back to 5th. Here comes Cisco trying to make his way back to 6th. That's where he finished last year at Caraway. He and Crum banged Nerf bars late in the going, under 30 to go in this one. Cisco, talented race car driver. Here comes Baldwin. Baldwin sideways with Jake Crum. They rub tires a little bit as well. Crum looks like the toe might be out on that race car a little bit. That's affecting the handling on the race car for Jake Crum. Joey Braun underneath him. Braun in the 24 gets a spot back. He has not been as good after he took that right rear tire on after that pit stop.
Definitely didn't help that he got pushed out of the groove on the restart either, whether it was on purpose or on accident. Now he's got to try to work his way back through.
Up front, all Carson Lofton, Crum and Braun going toe-to-toe on the racetrack. This is a battle for position. Joey Braun and Jake Crum battling for 8th. Watching a little bit further up right now, there's Carson Lofton. A little bit of a gap between he and second place running Danny Bone. There is the gap. Great camera work by our Flow Racing team. There is second and third. But behind that pair, you see how Burt Myers is trying the outside to in maneuver, but can't get the mojo, the momentum off the corner. Behind that pair sits Carter McMurray. Fine-tuned for a possible another top 5 run. That would carry the streak to 3 for that teenager.
And that's a great points day for Carter McMurray, trying to work his way back up into the standings, because if he keeps up this momentum, as you see, Newman looked at the inside but can't get to the inside. McMurray could really climb up in these next couple weeks to work himself into a playoff spot.
And Newman's got no front bumper, so he's got to be careful trying to get that run. Can he get there? Not quite yet. Carter McMurray able to hold off that position. And Carter and I spoke today, and he said, listen, the points are so tight. His goal is to get in the top 5. The maturity be under this kid has really come into prominence this year. Now Newman is there. Oh, so close. McMurray able to hold him at bay.
And he might be 61 points out of the lead, but he's less than 30 from that 5th position. So just consistency like he's doing right now, even if Newman gets by him, it's still a top 5 finish, and that's what works your way up.
Newman trying to rattle the teenager's cage here late in the going. Under 20 to go now for the Smart Modified Tour. Newman's got the run this time, solidly inside. Carter McMurray, will he give it up easily? No, he won't. Look at that momentum he carries on the outside. Definitely frustrating the veteran, Ryan Newman.
Newman gets such a good run off, kind of diamonding the turn a little bit and using that little bit of bumper he has to try to move McMurray out of the way. There's a big bump as McMurray was trying to use the lap car of John Michael Chenette to get around.
Yeah, I could tell Newman's getting a little frustrated. McMurray slowing up. Basically, Newman feels he's got a good race car. He wants to get up and get more positions, but McMurray is kind of holding him up ever so slightly. Wow, this is an interesting battle. Talk about a contrast in ages and experience between the teenager and the veteran.
And this battle is allowing Kyle Cisco to kind of work his way back to these drivers. So if one slip up happens, Cisco could be looking at a top 5.
14 to go in this one. Carson Lofton trying to navigate some traffic, and Danny Bone is starting to close in. Danny Bone in the 25 closed in by about 3 car lengths that last lap. So we'll keep an eye on that as we also look at this battle between Carter McMurray and Ryan Newman.
Newman's got to be frustrated behind the wheel of that car, really diving in. You see the brake rotors on the back of that 40 car glowing. Just both drivers giving it their all cleanly to try to race for that 4th position.
Look at how Carter McMurray closes the gap down the racetrack. Newman can't go to the outside. McMurray up about a half a groove, kind of hogging up the whole racetrack, but doing exactly what he needs to do to keep the 2 behind him. Daniel Yates on the inside front stretch wall to bring out another VCU Massey Comprehensive Cancer Center caution. He tries to refire the car, some fuel burning off for Daniel Yates, but that car, a little bit of a lick for the 18 along the inside retaining wall. He's frustrated. You see the gloves come off, and you can see the left front damage on that Yates grading and paving machine.
Unfortunate for Daniel Yates. He was actually having a great run today, running in the 12th position before the incident. So just a good day gone bad for Yates because he doesn't run full time with the Smart Modified Tour. So a 12th place run was a very respectable run for him, and it just gets tossed away.
But Daniel Yates loves modified racing. He started a couple times at Bowman Gray Stadium, runs almost full-time here, a little bit part-time. He misses a couple races because of some family and business obligations, but has been a supporter of the Smart Modified Tour since really it came back into prominence after a bunch of different iterations of tour-type modified racing. You have the NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour, the Coma Series, the SMRS. There's been a lot of different variations, ASA mods back in the day, but the Smart Modified Tour is here to stay, and it brings back, what, the racing was like years ago. Tour-type modified series racing in the South was started with the Smart Modified Tour years ago, and some of the legendary drivers have really formed those roots, and now a different level of racers are here to continue that tradition. Guys like Burt Myers is now the veteran instead of the young gun back in the day in the formidable years for the Smart Tour.
You see them hooking up the 18 to the tow truck. Another caution's going to shake things up with only a handful of laps left. 12 to go when we come back to green.
So here's what's interesting. If you look at the situation right now, we've had 7 races so far this year. There have been 5 different winners. Only one multiple winner, and that's Danny Bone with 3 victories. Carson Lofton leads this one. He would add his first win of the season, the Smart Tour, tonight if he can get the checkered flag. You're right. You just pointed out he won at Dominion. My bad. So he would get his second victory, and see, I'll twist it now. He'll be the second multi-time winner this year.
There you go. Yeah, it's hard to forget that Dominion win.
The dominance.
The pure dominance. Kind of similar to tonight. No matter the restarts, no matter nothing, he would have that challenge for that half a lap, and then that 15 car, that Shady Grady car, just gone in the wind. Still working on Yates' car to get it off of the front stretch. Looks like a track worker just climbed into the car to help get it rolling a little better.
So Yates has got some repair work to do to that 18 race car. New race car a couple of years ago for Daniel Yates. As we said, also runs the Madhouse on occasion in the NASCAR modified rank. So Yates done for the night. 11 laps left in this one. Take a look at that 25 team. They got the red, white, and blue. They have the Army colors down there. Very patriotic this week for the Mike Smith-owned team. And that is a really good group of guys. They have really gelled since this race last year. Danny Bone, his family, his contingent of helpers, together with Mike Smith and their team, they have really unified. Usually when you see 2 teams come together, like the group that Danny Bone brings to an organization, you never know. Is it going to work? Is it going to gel? Is it not? This team has, and they enjoy working together.
It's been perfect, honestly. It's a match made in heaven, you could say, just with how much success they've had. He's got a big decision here. It looks like he's going to be all outside lane once again, and he's got 2 good restarts. He's just got to get a little bit more.
It's Danny Bone. He's from New Jersey. He's going to go for it, Love talking to Danny. Sometimes I think he looks more like a football player than a race car driver.
If I've never met him before and you told me he played linebacker in the NFL, I would have definitely believed you.
Carter McMurray on the outside of that second row. Burt Myers still lurking, looking for win number 1 on the season with the Smart Modified Tour. He's won a couple of times in NASCAR Modified competition in that Citra Safe machine at Bowman Gray Stadium. Each restart, we say it's an important one. But this one certainly is, because we're down to the nitty-gritty tonight at Caraway Speedway. Lofton, not as good of a restart Bones got a chance. Danny Bones going to have to get down. He does. And now Danny Bones' best bet, a little bump to the back bumper of Carson Lofton. But Lofton playing jam car, if you will, right now. Kind of slowing down the center of the corner to slow the momentum on the 25. Now 9 laps to go. And just like that little jam car brake maneuver, and then he just pulls away from Danny Bone. Lofton in that 15 team has just been so fast all week long, and it is showing here once again. Burt Myers all over the back bumper of the 25. Little gap between first and second. Newman, yes, Ryan Newman up to fourth. Just like he told us, he's got a better race car now than he had earlier in the race, and he's showing his stuff in the Bass Pro Shops machine behind the number 1 of Myers. It looks like Bones just sliding a little too much coming out of 4, and that's what's really costing him. That 15 car in front of him is just hooked up and is like a train on a railroad track right now. I think the only one that really has some stuff in the top 5 right now besides Lofton is Ryan Newman, but Newman doesn't know which way to go on Myers and Bone as they're toe-to-toe for second. 5 to go this time for Carson Lofton. The kid looking good again at Caraway Speedway. Looking for his 3rd victory of the season. Won an open modified race here at Caraway earlier this year, and then won at Dominion Raceway in Virginia in the Flying VA Classic with the Smart Tour. That race car is just so good. You can just see visibly that gap getting bigger and bigger to the point to where second place on back just disappeared off the screen. And listen, he's been so good. Won a couple of years ago in his own ride. Had that win taken away with a post-race DQ last year here at Caraway Speedway with the Smart Tour. And now he's got a huge advantage over second place car, the 25 of Danny Bone and the 1 of Burt Myers. 2 laps to go in the Revolutionary 99. White flag will be displayed for Carson Lofton this time by Bone second, 3rd is Burt Myers, 4th Newman, and 5th Carter McMurray. Tonight we celebrate America's 250th birthday, but we also celebrate a great run by Carson Lofton. He's the winner in the Revolutionary 99. Luke Baldwin had spun off a turn number 2 that did not bring out the caution. Danny Bone pulls alongside of Carson Lofton to congratulate the 15. And you mentioned the spin for Baldwin. That's going to just hurt him so much more in the point standings once again. So that 7 VA just cannot catch a break. Carson Lofton wins his 7th race in the Smart Modified Tour during his career. He now pulls back around for the reverse victory lap at Caraway Speedway. We'll come back here on Flow Racing in just a moment to hear from the winner of this race.
You see Carson Lofton in victory lane, getting ready to take all the stuff out, getting ready to climb out as they're getting the car set up. Talking to Lofton as he unbuckles that helmet after leading all 99 laps here in the revolutionary 99 at Caraway Speedway. We'll throw it down to Bob Dillner, who will have the interview with Lofton as he's getting ready to climb out.
Congratulations from Danny Bone to Carson Lofton in victory lane at Caraway Speedway. Carson Lofton does it again at Caraway Speedway, the winner of the Revolutionary 99. Lots of cheers going on here. Lofton, congratulations to you. Dominance. You look yourself up, and that word in the dictionary, you'll see your picture after tonight's performance.
Yeah, man, I can't say enough about this group, man. They gave me a really good race car, and I was a lucky guy that got to hold the steering wheel. Luckily I drew the pole, never drew good, and it kind of made my job easy tonight. But it's always fun racing Danny. I got a lot of respect for him, and he ran me really clean, and I trust him a lot. So really fun racing him, and can't thank all these guys enough. Steve Tyronato, LNR Transmissions, Goomuth Metal and Electronic Solutions, 20's Competition Engines. Everybody that helps out in this thing.
You had a run. He had a run on you a couple of times on the outside, and you had to use some maneuvers and some skill behind the wheel to keep him at bay. How worried were you?
I mean, Danny's a phenomenal race car driver, so I knew I had to be on my toes there. But I feel like my car was a little bit better on the longer run, so I knew I was going to struggle on short run. So luckily we were able to hold him off there at the end.
What does this win mean to you? Obviously, I think it's your third win overall this year. Two of them have come here at Caraway Speedway, a track that means a lot to you and this Shady Grady racing team.
Yeah, it means a lot. We actually just come, we wanted to menu my last modified race, so to come here and win, it means a lot. It's a confidence booster. I've been struggling a little bit on the late model stuff still, so definitely means a lot. Just like I say, just can't thank this group enough, and hopefully we can go to Carteret in a few months and win that one too.
You climb out in Pace-O-Matic victory lane. You get the Smart Modified Tour towel, but you also have to reach into the Hoosier Racing Tire bucket for a free set of tires for the finisher in the 16th spot here tonight. So whoever finished in the 16th spot will win a free set of tires. Chris Williams walks in with the trophy made by Jostens, as well as the Win Cup Zone celebratory champagne bottle tonight. Carson Lofton celebrating, taking the pictures, and he pulls into Pace-O-Matic victory lane in the Win Cup Zone post-race activity area. We'll talk to all three finishers here today. Win Cup making some new products that will be out in July, about the midway part of this month. Grady Jeffries also being rewarded here tonight. Since Carson Lofton is not of age, Grady Jeffries is going to hold the Win Cup celebratory liquid down here in victory lane. Daniel Yates winds up winning the free tire after that wreck. He's going to need it, a free set of tires for Daniel Yates. We got some smoke from all the fireworks that were lit off here tonight at Caraway Speedway. We'll mosey on down here and chat with Danny Bone. Danny, a good run. We'll sit between you guys here, and you did all you could to go after that 15. Where did he have you beat?
I think he just had a little bit more roll speed through 3 and 4. I felt like I could roll the center 1 and 2 a little bit better, but down in 3 and 4, I think he could roll down there better than he carried down the front stretch. But all in all, he had a good car all day. We were 17th in practice. We kind of pulled one out of our pocket there and qualified 6th, which I was extremely happy about. And then to run second, I think we were as far back as 7th at one point. So, yeah, he's tough when he runs in that car. So, all in all, good day, solid day by us. I think all the points guys are behind us. So we'll move on to the next one and hopefully be back in victory lane next time.
We were all sweating here today, but how hot was this race for you at Caraway with heat index over 112 today?
I mean, it's really not bad when you're running, but those long red flags, it just your butt gets sore, you start sweating, you start thinking about things you're not thinking about when you're running around. So, Yeah, all in all, it was a hot day. We thank the fans for coming out tonight. Smart Tour for putting this on. You know, I'm a huge race fan, but I don't know if I would have sat in the stands today with the heat today. So, like I said, just thank you to Team 25, Mark III Employee Benefits, everybody that helps out with this deal. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, I mean, how can you be mad about second?
Danny Bone continues to be the point leader of the Smart Modified Tour. He is part of the Win Cup Zone podium interviews here today. They will take a podium finisher photo a little bit later on. We mosey on down here. Burt Myers, a very good run for him in the Citrus Safe. Daggett and Schuler, attorneys at Law Machine. Talking to Randy Renfro here. Burt, hot day at Caraway, but how about this run for you?
Yeah, that's the best car we've had here in a while, and that magic drive that I had off turn 2 all night is what kept us in the game. And then after we pit, I think our stagger opened up a little too much, and I was sacrificing 3 and 4 because I was too tight, but I had the drive, and I had more drive than most people did off 2. And it's still Caraway, like we talked about under the red flag. You've still got to manage this corner down here. So that was our plan from the get-go. And like I said, I think our stagger opened up a little too much, and we lost a little drive, but P3, none's tore up, and we're moving in the right direction.
I was going to say, very consistent. And now you're knocking on the door to get back into victory lane. How close is this team right now?
Well, I mean, everybody's, you know, we've been saying this field is so tight. You're a couple hundredths away from being the car to beat. And when the field's that tight, and then you get to somewhere like Caraway that it's hard to pass, and you're managing tires at the same time, track position is key. And there at the beginning, like I told you on the red flag, that it was a restart game, and it broke my heart not to go to the outside. But Carson was carrying Danny up down there. I knew he wasn't going to let him pass him on the outside. And so third was probably the car we had tonight. So, yeah, not too bad.
Good run by Burt Myers, podium finisher here. He's run more smart races here than any other driver in the field. We're going to do one more interview because there was another good run in this race. Ryan Newman is down here, but he's not at the race car. But Carter McMurray is down here sitting by the wall. It's hot, it's humid here. It just beats you up no matter whether you're a driver or a fan or anything in between. But that Bass Pro Shops driver with HendrickCars.com on the side of the hood, the streak continues for Carter McMurray. Third straight top 5 finish. Not too shabby with how the way the day began.
Yeah, starting 14th was definitely a little bit upsetting. I talked to you before the race, and wanting to get a 10th or a 9th, just somewhat get out of here clean with a clean slate was what I was wanting, and we got a P5 finish. Staying out of all the carnage and just keeping ourselves in the right spot. We had pretty good adjustments on the pit stop, which I think helped us get closer to the speed of the field. We obviously didn't have the fastest race car, but we did a good job battling back. It was a good race at Caraway. I'm glad to escape this racetrack with especially how many people didn't escape very well tonight. So happy with that, and we'll go on the motor mile.
Carter McMurray, great run here tonight in the top 5 once again. That concludes our interviews in the Win Cup Zone. There's still one more race to go tonight, the Carolina Crate Modified Series. You can see that on Caraway Speedway TV. But we're going to wrap things up here tonight. So on behalf of Chris Williams and everybody from the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic, and everybody at Flow Racing, I'm Bob Dillner saying thank you so much for watching the Smart Modified Tour with the revolutionary 99 tonight here at Caraway Speedway. And we'll see you just about a month at Pulaski County Speedway in Virginia, the next race for the Smart Modified Tour. Good night.